Hey guys, today we're going to work on integer subtraction rules. So this is very similar to our previous lesson with addition rules. We're still addressing the same standard of 7 NSA1. I won't read that standard to you, but we are still working on the same standard that we were working on yesterday. So our objective today is that you will be able to determine if the difference is positive or negative and represent that difference on a number line. Okay, so we talked about in our previous lesson using our sock trick to combine some of these symbols or these subtraction or addition signs that are beside of each other. Okay, so in this one, you should look right here and see that we have two signs beside of each other, which means we need to do our sock trick. So we're going to bring down our negative 94. Those two subtraction signs, those are matching socks, so that's going to change to positive, and then bring down our 1. Okay, so you have to ask yourself, do you have more of your negative number or more of your positive number? Obviously 94 is greater in value, which is a negative number, which means that our answer will be a negative integer. Okay, in the second one here, we do not have any signs beside of each other, so we do not have to do our sock trick. So we just simply ask ourselves, do we have more of our negative 9 or more of our positive 70? So which number has the greater value, which is 70, and it is positive. So our answer will be a positive integer. Okay, in the third problem, we have socks here. Okay, those two signs that we need to combine. So we're going to bring down our 2. Those are not matching socks, so it's going to be minus or negative, and then bring down our 8. Okay, so you need to ask yourself, is 2 positive or negative? Which it is positive. And is 8 positive or negative? It is negative. So which do you have more of, your positive 2 or your negative 8? You have more of your negative 8, which means that the answer to this problem will be a negative integer. Okay, and the last one on this one, example 4, we do have to combine these two terms here that are beside of each other. So negative 66, those are not matching socks, so it's going to be minus 1. So in this case, we're asking, do we have more negative or more negative, which seems kind of silly to ask yourself. So obviously, since they're both negative, our answer will also be a negative integer. Okay, pause your video and complete these 4 questions. Okay, in 8 plus 93, we do not have any signs to have to combine. We don't need to use that sock trick. Okay, so just ask yourself, do you have more of your positive 8 or more of your positive 93? So obviously, if both of them are positive, that's just a regular addition problem of 8 plus 93. So your answer will be a positive integer. Okay, in the second one, we have negative 83 minus 8. So again, we don't have to use the sock trick because we don't have any signs that are beside of each other. So do you have more of your negative or more of this negative? Either way, we have more negative, which means our answer would be a negative integer. Okay, in the third one, we have 7 minus 3. Guys, don't overlook just your basic subtraction. You guys know 7 minus 3 equals 4, which is positive. However, you can still use your tricks that I've showed you, your rules. So do you have more of your positive number or more of your negative number? And you have more of your positive number, which will give you a positive answer. Okay, in this last one on this slide, we do have to do the sock trick again here. We've got these two negative signs beside of each other. So that's going to change to 1. Those signs match, so it's going to be plus 4. And we know that 1 plus 4 is 5. That's basic addition, and that is obviously a positive 5. However, you can still use those rules that we've been practicing. Do you have more of your positive or more of your positive? Obviously, your answer will be positive. Okay, let's look at this number line. It says it shows an unknown number z. Okay, so we have this z up here. Now, we don't know the value of that number. The only thing we can tell is it's some number greater than 1. Like, based on the spacing of this number line, we would guess somewhere around here to be 2, so it's a little bit greater than 2. So we want to know if we add z to 1, is that going to be positive or negative? Well, we're really just adding one whole number to z. So that's going to be up here somewhere if we're adding 1, because when we're adding, we're going right on our number line. So if we go further to the right on that number line, then we are going to get a positive value. Okay, pause your video and see if you can solve this one on your own. Okay, we can see that v is obviously a negative number. It's falling somewhere between 0 and -1. We're not exactly sure what, but we can tell that it is a negative because it's to the left of 0. So if we take v and we subtract 1, when we subtract, we go left. Okay, we go left on our number line. So if we go back one more on our number line, we are going further into the negatives. So that value would be a negative integer. Okay, pause your video. Try example 11. Okay, so we can see that w is pretty far down into the negatives here on this number line. I would guess it to be around -3, but we're not certain of that. However, if we are subtracting 1 from that w, remember if we subtract 1, we're going 1 to the left. So that's going to put us further into the negatives. Pause your video and try example 12. Okay, we can see that a is into the negatives because it is to the left of -1. And if we are wanting to do 1 minus that a, okay, so let's just pretend that maybe this a was -1.5. Okay, if that was the case and we had 1 minus, and we know that we're minusing a negative because we can see that that a is below -1 or below 0. So we're minusing here. So that's why I have that number, that minus sign there, and then we're minusing a negative. Okay, then that means we're really going to add some number here. Okay, this a is what we don't know. So 1 plus whatever a is that going to give us a positive or a negative? Okay, so 1 plus whatever any negative number would give us there is going to have to give us a positive integer. Okay, so again, we had 1 minus negative, and let's just say that was 1.5. Okay, we don't know for sure that it was, but it's somewhere close to that. Then these two signs would be changing to a positive, so that would be 1 plus 1.5, which in that case would give us 2.5. So again, that 2.5, assuming that was it, and again, that's just an estimate, that would still give us this positive integer. Okay, pause your video and complete these 4 questions on just telling me if it's a positive or a negative answer. Okay, do you have more negative or more negative? Okay, so obviously you have a negative integer or negative answer to that problem. Okay, in the second one, we've got to do our sock trick first. So those two negatives is going to change that to 8 plus 91. Okay, and then you have to ask yourself, do you have more of your positive number or more of your positive number? Well, in this case, it doesn't matter because they're both positive. So that will give you a positive answer. Okay, in the third one, we've got our sock trick here, so that's going to be -4 plus 1. Because those signs are matching, which changes it to a positive. Okay, so you have to ask yourself, do you have more of your negative number or more of your positive number? In this case, 4 has a greater value than 1, and it is negative, so you will have a negative answer. Okay, in this last one, we have socks again because those two signs are beside of each other. So we're going to rewrite that as -2 plus 10. And you need to ask yourself, do you have more of your negative number or more of your positive number? And you have more of your positive number, which will give you a positive answer. All right, so let's bring all this together. This is, again, just like what we've done with adding and subtracting. So we've got 5 minus 8. So the first thing you should ask yourself is, do you have more of this positive number 5 or more of your negative number 8? Okay, we have more of our negative. And remember our rule, if they have the same sign, we add them. If they have different signs, we subtract them. So 5, although it's not there, we know that's a positive. So one's a positive, one's a negative. If they have different signs, then we subtract the two numbers. So 8 minus 5 equals 3. However, it's not that positive 3 because we've already written this negative down here because we knew that there was more negatives than there was positive. So the answer is -3. So that would go down here at the bottom of our slide. Now we have to figure out which number line supports that. So again, you need to look back at your problem here. So we started at 5. So you're looking for the one that starts at 5. Now this top number line is starting here at 8. But the second one starts at 5. And then we're looking for the one that will subtract 8 from that 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we end at -3, which supports the answer we have already solved for. So the second number line goes with 5 minus 8 equals -3. Okay, pause your video and try example 18 on your own. Remember, those parentheses do not change anything. If you want to take those away, you're welcome to do that. So you could rewrite that as -5 minus -6. Okay, so you need to ask yourself, do we have socks? We do. We've got these two signs right here that are together. So that's going to be -5 plus 6. Okay, so you need to think, do you have more negative or more of your positive number? Okay, we have more of our positive number, which tells us our answer will also be positive. Okay, then look at the signs that's in front of those. So we've got a negative sign in front of the 5 and a positive sign in front of the 6. So those are different signs. Different signs means we subtract the two numbers. So we would do 6 minus 5, which gives us 1. And we already know that our answer is +1. Okay, so now we got to find the number line that goes with what we have determined as our answer. So again, we had the -5 plus 6 when we simplified all of that down. So you want to start at -5. Now both of these start at -5 here. And we're looking for the one that adds 6. So remember, if you add, you're going to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 puts us at 1, which supports our answer. So the first number line is representative of the equation -5 minus -6. Pause your video and try example 19. Okay, we have -8 minus -12. We can use our sock trick here. So those are matching signs. So we're going to write that as -8 plus 12. Okay, ask yourself which you have more of. Do you have more of your negative number or more of your positive number? 12 is greater, which is positive. That tells us our answer will be positive. Look and see if they have the same sign in front of them or different signs. So the 8 has a negative sign, the 12 has a positive sign. So they have different signs, which means we subtract the two numbers. So 12 minus 8 equals 4, and we already know our answer is positive. So +4. Okay, so again, go back up here to where you just wrote this equation of -8 plus 12. So we want to start at -8. Okay, only one of these even starts at -8. because this bottom one here is starting at negative 12. So we needed the one that started at negative 8, and then we need to add 12. Now, don't be confused because some people think 1, 2, 3. Well, they didn't add 12, they only added 3. But this is going up by 4 each time on this number line. So 4, 8, 12. So it did increase 12, which put us at positive 4, which supports our answer down here at the bottom of positive 4. So you should have chose the first number line. Pause your video and try example 20. Negative 8 minus 8. Okay, there's no socks in this one, so we don't have to combine those. Okay, so you're looking to see, do you have more of your negative or more of your negative? Well, obviously, you've got more negative, so our answer is going to be a negative value. In this case, though, both of these 8s have a negative sign in front of them. So if they have the same sign in front of them, we add the two numbers. So 8 plus 8 is 16, which gives us negative 16. Down here at the bottom, we'll fill that in, negative 16. So to find our number line, we're going to go back to our negative 8 minus 8, and we're going to start here with this negative 8. So we want our number line to start at negative 8. And only one of them is starting at negative 8. The other one is starting at positive 8. So we want this one that starts with negative 8, and then we're going to subtract 8. So if you're subtracting 8, you're going to the left 8 spaces. However, on this number line, it is going up by 4s in each space. So since it's going up by 4s, and we only need to go up 8, then we're only going over 2 places, which puts us at negative 16, which supports our answer here at the bottom. Pause your video and try example 21. Okay, 10 minus 35. So we don't have to do the sock trick here because we don't have signs that are beside of each other. So do you have more of your positive number or more of your negative number? In this case, we've got more of our negative number, which tells us we're going to have a negative answer. 10, we know is an imaginary positive sign there in front of it, and 35 has a negative sign. So if they have the same sign, we would add. However, this one is a positive and a negative, which means we subtract the two. So 35 minus 10 is 25, and we already know up here that that is going to be a negative 25. Okay, so to find the number line, we're going to find the one that starts with 10, so positive 10. So both of these start at positive 10, and we need it to subtract or go to the left 35 spaces. And these are going down by 5 each time. So let's just check each one of these. So the top one would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Again, this one only went back 30 spaces, and we needed to go back 35 spaces. Okay, so let's check the bottom one. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So this one did go back 35 spaces, which took us back to negative 25 that we had already solved for. So for this one, the correct number line would have been the second one because the first one only went back 30 spaces instead of 35. Okay, this problem goes back to what we done in our exit slip yesterday. So completing the equation for this model. Okay, the first thing you need to do is look at where it started. So remember, the side with the arrow here, that is not where it starts. It's the one here that doesn't have an arrow on the end, so to speak. That's how you know where it's actually starting at. Okay, so it's starting at negative 8. So that tells us that this first blank is going to be negative 8. And then we can see that it ends at negative 11, so it's going to equal negative 11. Okay, so what are we subtracting? How far to the left are we going to get that? So it's going down by ones. 1, 2, 3. We subtracted 3. You can always check that by doing what we have done in our previous problems. -8 minus 3. You can ask yourself, do you have more negative or more negative? Well, obviously you've got more negative. Since they have the same sign in front of both of them, they're both negative numbers, that means we add the two numbers. So 8 plus 3 is 11, and you get that -11. So that's just a way to go back and check your equation after you've written it in there. So it was -8 minus 3 equals -11. Okay, go ahead and complete your exit slit. So again, you're just trying to write that equation. Okay, look at where it starts. Okay, it starts back here at -20. That tells me what goes in my first box here, -20. And then I'm ending at -24, so that's going to go in my equals, -24. And look to see how far back you had to go. You had to subtract 4 spaces. So -20 minus 4 equals -24. Please complete your assessment at the link below. That can also be found in your class notebook for those of you who are virtual. So click on that link and complete your forms assessment. Have a good day, guys.